Hello, Internet. How are we this evening? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. I apologize I didn't get to my Monday show. I was way too far down the rabbit hole, and I still am. I meant to do a deep dive episode on Sunday, and I was going to push it to Monday, and I still wasn't done. Like halfway through the day on Monday, so I wasn't done last night. It's one of those rabbit holes that just keeps going and it leads to other rabbit holes. And I want to make sure that I tell sort of the whole story in context and talk about everything that I want to talk about. So I'm going to be pushing that either till tomorrow or Friday or even Saturday, because I got some side work coming up in Tracy and I got a speaking engagement to go to on Thursday. So I'm not really sure actually when I'm going to get to it, but I got way too many notes to get to. But hello, everyone. Shasta Rain, Wally World, nice to see ya. I'm sorry, Wally, she doesn't care tonight. Scarlett, do you just not care tonight? You want to say hi or what? Okay. Can you say hi to Wally? Don't just paw me. Come on, come say hi. All right. There you go, Wally. There she is for you. She's been being lazy today. I'm sure she'll, now that the show has started, since she hasn't drank water all day, she'll go and she'll guzzle a gallon of water right into the microphone. Oh, there she goes. Might be. Oh, I thought she was going to, as I called her out on it. All right, the RGS. What is going on? Nice to see you, my friend. Got a bunch of California stuff that I want to get into tonight. Yeah, it's a bit of a bait and switch. I'm going to talk about the Ashley Biden diary, not the Hunter Biden laptop. It's just, man, all the things that if voters would have known about before the. Oh, right on cue. You hear her? Scarlett. She waits till the show starts, I swear. Every time. And she'll probably drink for like 5 minutes straight. She just does that. Anyway, as Joe Biden says, anyway, when he forgets what he's talking about. Well, yeah, if voters would have known about the Hunter Biden laptop and the Ashley Biden diary, even though I don't think that information was out I don't think that was one of the things that was not talked about and covered up by intelligence agencies and Twitter and other big tech companies. I don't think that information was out there yet. That was more just the Tara Reade story, the Hunter Biden laptop story, and any, negative vaccine information and stuff about mandates and all that stuff. You would have got kicked off Twitter for all that. But I do want to talk about we'll start off talking about the Ashley Biden diary, because Snopes came out and they changed their mind. That is no longer fact check false. That is now fact check true. It's the fact checkers are a bunch of liars, as if we didn't know that already. Fact checking. It's not even a thing. I'm a fact checker. Imagine if that's your title, your job title. Oh my! Oh, that scared me. Oh, there's a dog down there, guys. You just heard Scarlett a wooing. Scarlett, hey, that's unnecessary. It's a friend. Okay? Can you not do that? God, that scared me. Made me jump. Did that scare you guys too? Jeez, what a jerk. B says, nice to see you. All right, let's get right into it. I'm actually going to talk about something before I get to the what a jerk she is. Before I get to the Ashley Biden stuff, I want to talk about a quick little California story. Terry Wallace, the RGS does have a podcast. It's pretty awesome. You should listen to it. Thanks, RGS. Yeah, hit that like button if you don't mind. That is all the stuff that helps. Like button if you're watching on Twitter. Hit the repost button. Actually, thanks for reminding me there, RGS. Let me make sure I think if I repost my stream when it goes live, it does better numbers. So I'm just gonna do that so I can be a shill. It's not really shilling. It's shilling for myself, right? It's just being I don't know. It's probably being something that's not admirable. All right, yeah, let's repost this thing. Let's see here. All right, yeah, if you guys are watching over on Twitter and you want to repost the episode, hit the like button, leave a comment, share with a friend, send it to somebody. That's the best thing you can do to help this show is tell somebody about it. Tell somebody to give it a little bit of a watch, even if it's only a watch for a few minutes. It's always appreciated. All right, now that that's done, let's go back over here. And I want to talk about some stuff that's going on in California schools because I want to give you guys a tool to fight back against the madness. What? You're ruining the show, Scarlett. You're ruining it. God, she's such a brat. She was great all day. No wooing, no barking, no borking, nothing. And all of a sudden the show starts and she drinks a gallon of water and borks at the dog walking by. Brat. All right, let's go over to Libs of TikTok here. I want to talk to you guys about a tool that you can use. So there is, as you know, if you're a California parent, you know that there's tons of shenanigans going on. What's going on here? StreamYard's acting up. All right, so there's a ton of shenanigans going on in California schools. For example, this middle school here. Middle school just says middle school. It doesn't say a middle school. So from Libs of TikTok, middle school in California is teaching students sex ed. The principal sent out an email to parents that they can opt out of any individual lessons except for those on gender and sexuality. They're forcing kids to learn about gender pseudoscience and alternate gender identities. If you're a parent and you want your kid educated on sex ed and just not gender ideology, tough luck. Why is this from Ladera Vista Junior High? So let's read the document here. What do they got? When I was a kid, I remember it was 6th grade, Mr. Stevens' class. I remember we had sex ed. It was going to start. And it was a whole week of it. And we had to learn about the PP and the vajayjay and all that stuff, and reproduction and the different parts, different things down there, and it made all the kids uncomfortable. Well, yeah, we didn't talk about gender crap or any of that stuff, and everybody had to get a permission slip that would go home with their parents and get it signed for the teachers to be able to talk about it. And I remember the teachers they seemed very uncomfortable talking about it as well. Like they didn't want to, and it was only covering like reproduction and stuff like that. They weren't telling us what's right and what's wrong and how people should think or anything like that. It was just purely the biology aspect of it. So this is from Ladera Middle School or Ladera Junior High. Dear parent or guardian, California state law requires that comprehensive sexual health education and HIV prevention education is provided to students at least once in middle school or junior high school and once in high school. Instruction must encourage students to communicate with parents, guardians, or other trusted adults about human sexuality. Instruction must be medically accurate, age appropriate, and inclusive of all students. It must include the following. So just that right there. California state law requires. Like, why? Why does California state law require? It's public education. I get it. But I don't even, why does this, what if a teacher says, what if an entire school says, you know what? We're not going to teach the sex ed stuff. We're going to leave that to the parents. We've decided that that's best for the parents to talk about with their students. Maybe we'll offer some sort of extracurricular or extra class that's like an elective that parents can sign their kids up for if they want us to teach the biology aspect of it. No, the state doesn't even allow them to do that. They don't give them that option of, having their own curriculum and not teaching sex. Anyway, here's the stuff that California state law says they must teach. Information about HIV and other sexually transmitted infections, STIs. They're called STDs. I remember, I'm old enough to remember when they called STDs, guys. Some people still call them that. Including transmission, FDA-approved methods to prevent HIV and STIs and treatment. One too many ands in there. This is a school document, and they got the and. Information that abstinence is the only certain way to prevent unintended pregnancy and HIV and other STIs, and information about the value of delaying sexual activity. Yeah, the value of delaying sexual activity. But I guess, some parents, some teachers, and school administrators want to permanently delay sexual activity by sterilizing children. That's one of the things that's going on with the whole puberty blockers and, chopping off your pee-pee because you think you're a girl. Information about accessing resources for sexual and reproductive health care. Information about pregnancy, including FDA-approved prevention methods. Don't have sex. pregnancy outcomes, prenatal care, and the newborn safe surrender law. These must be like really old rules because they're not talking about how, glorifying abortion and all that stuff. Information about sexual orientation and gender, including the harm of negative gender stereotypes. What is that? What are negative gender stereotypes? Or is that, if that's saying that, different, if they're talking about just differences between boys and girls or whatever, okay. Information about healthy relationships and avoiding unhealthy behaviors and situations. You can examine printed instructional materials in your school's main office by making an appointment. This instruction will be provided May 13th through May 24th in your student's science class. State law allows you to remove your student from this instruction. Here's the kicker part. This is what Lives of TikTok was pointing out here. If you do not want your child to participate in comprehensive sexual health or HIV prevention education, please give a written request to your student's science teacher by Friday, May 10th. Parents can opt out. Oh, she's doing it again.
You stop it. Knock it off.
Where was I? On May 10th, parents can opt out of their child. Parents can opt their child out of all sessions or individual sessions. However, parents cannot opt their child out of gender and sexual identity lessons only. See, the biggest problem with that sentence is parents cannot opt out their child. I'm sorry, what? How does the school have the authority to tell parents what they are not allowed to show their child? Is this legal? Is this what the state of California is doing? Like, this is madness. However, parents cannot opt out their child from the gender and sexual identity lesson only. Got to learn about that. Got to learn that your boy can be, got to teach your son that he can be a girl. If he only takes puberty blockers and chops off his pee-pee, all of those weird things going on in his brain will go away. The stuff that happens to boys when they're going through puberty. Everybody's all hopped up on their hormones and weird things are happening in their bodies. You know what? You know what you really need to do? Chop off your pee-pee. That's what you need to do. You need to take these hormone or puberty blockers and chop off your little breasts and your growing pee-pee. That's what you got to do, kids. That's what you cannot opt your child out of. Freaking madness. Freaking insane. So this leads me right into my little, now I'm going to be shilling. Now I'm going to be shilling for the California Parents Union. So if you guys are a California parent, even if you're not a California parent, if you're a California teacher, or even a coach or anything that has to do with education, or if you just want to support, schools not forcing gender ideology on kids, go to the California Parents Union. I'll throw it up here on screen in a second. CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. That will bring you right to the sign up page. It's only $25 a year, not a month, $25 a year. And you'll get access to documents like this. So you'll get legal access. You'll get, legal advice or like consults. You can tons of info about charter schools, tons of info about homeschooling, all sorts of benefits in here. And the more people that join this, the stronger the fight against the administrators and the teacher unions can be. If you're a teacher and you want to leave the teachers union, join the California Parents Union. Again, it's only $25 a year, and they'll give you instruction on how to leave the teachers union. If you are a teacher, you don't have to be in the teachers union. They make it incredibly difficult to leave. They tell you have like a certain time limit to do it from like your anniversary date of when you just joined, and then they won't tell you what that date is. They make it super complicated, but they have all these forms in here. You guys see all these forms? One of them here, this is, I opt out of certain instruction. So let's open this document. This is a PDF. So student opt-out notice and notice of decline to consent to certain instruction programs or activities. So they try to say, yeah, your child cannot opt out of the gender ideology stuff. They try to say that in that thing that they send home to parents. Well, you can send this document back to the teachers and say, no, my child opts out of this, and I want you to sign this to show that you are receiving the information I'm telling you. Don't teach my kid this stuff, or we're going to have legal problems. That's what this document is here. So comprehensive sexual health education and HIV prevention education and research on pupil health, behaviors, risks, ED code, blah, blah, blah. So all sorts of stuff in here. There's here's one. Any instruction in health that conflicts with my family's religious training and beliefs specifically. So yeah, I'm sure the gender stuff is in here too. But this is one of the documents you have access to. And there's all sorts of these documents in here. So leave this one. You got, I do not consent to certain instruction programs or activities, pleading, court orders, minor consent laws for mental health resources, can't hide their gender policies from parents. That's one. So this one here, so this is actually a letter. This is a letter from an attorney. So you can take this letter and copy and paste and change it, and you can even write Tracy Henderson. She runs the California Parents Union. You can send her an email and say, hey, can I use this document and you sign it or whatever, and use this document to give to teachers, because if they're telling my boy that he can be a girl and saying, shh, don't tell your parents about it, well, I don't want that to happen. And this gives you a little more ammo. So yeah, again, CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. And actually, I'll stop sharing there. So I think you guys get the point. You can, you guys can have tools. There's someone that's trying to actually give parents more power to fight back against all this gender crap, all this insane shit that's going on in schools. Shasta Rain, because AMA went woke and they're trying to, what is that? What is AMA? I don't know what AMA is. And they're promoting this. So it's seen as best practices, but it's pure ideology. Yeah. I don't know what the AMA is, though. The RGS, you'll shill for me? I appreciate it, dude. That's awesome. Cameron, what's the WOW for? The WOW that freaking schools are trying to jam this shit down kids' throats? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So if you guys want to, again, it's $25 a year. It's well worth it, and it helps support the show. That's
It's not. There is a reason why I shill for California Parents Union. I'm not even a parent, but I am a coach, and I don't like all this stuff that's going on. And I'm always calling out the schools that are. Sorry, let me fix my camera. It's annoying me. Oh, jeez. I'm always calling out the parents that are, or the schools that are jamming this shit down kids' throats and
flying the trans flag, because it's Pride Month, and all the schools in Santa Clara County or Santa Cruz County, maybe Santa Clara as well, are flying the freaking trans flag like it's the cool thing to do right now. But yeah, CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. So you'll get access to all these resources. You'll be joining. You'll get the emails talking about events that come up too. So, probably gonna have protests and things like that, meeting events, in-person events. Again, you'll have access to all the legal stuff. It's very well worth it, and you're helping support the show. CaliforniaParentsUnion.com/CaliBased. All right, enough of that. We'll move on here. Let's talk about. Geez, it took 19 minutes. It took longer than I would have liked it to take, but this stuff's important. I think that's American Medical Association is the AMA. Oh, I got you. Manish, nice to see you, Cali girl. I think the stuff that's going on in schools is some of the most important crap that's happening. I think it's right up there. The gender ideology stuff that's happening in schools, the freaking Marxism that's being taught in schools, that is, to me, right up there with homelessness. It's right up there with the border situation. It's right up there with the sanctuary state policies. It's right up there with crime. It's all all this stuff is hugely important for what's happening to California. And we can't just complain about this stuff all the time. We actually have to try to push back and do something against this. So I meant to actually put some names and phone numbers on screen of school board officials, people that need to get feedback from the community. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start calling out specific individuals like, hey, this is the person that's in charge of making it okay for all the schools in the Santa Cruz school district to fly the trans flag during Pride Month. Here's their number. Give them a call and let them know what you think. Leave them a message, all that kind of stuff. Because that's what the left does. That's the left, the crowds on demand thing. It's not only just the left, people that are on the left, government and non-government organizations, to make it seem like there's more people behind certain movements than there actually are. They'll start phone campaigns where they won't even live in the area. People will get paid to promote ideas and call officials to make them think that there's a lot of people supporting all this trans ideology crazy shit. And there's money behind this. There's funding behind this. This agenda is being pushed not just by people. Should be very clear that this is being pushed by, a lot of people would say this is part of the UN Agenda 2030 17 Sustainable Development Goals. A lot of this stuff is coming from very nefarious places. Look into Common Core, the creator of Common Core. It was originally called like World Core, or the dude worked for the UN that created Common Core. Like all that shit, all this stuff this isn't like a grassroots effort. This is stuff that's coming from very powerful people with lots of money. It's insane. Shasta and the American Medical Association brought forth experts, and that affects the policy directives they choose to focus on, with DEI being connected to ESG and funding. They took the bait. Yeah. And this, again, it goes all back to that agenda, the UN Agenda 2030 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And if you go and read all those in detail, like there's certain key phrases in there and sentences that are just really major red flags of what they're doing. So a lot of nefarious crap going on, you guys. Lots of it. So, all right, let's get to the Ashley Biden diary stuff, shall we? Enough about the California schools. We got plenty of California madness to get into later. And I'll actually try to keep this segment relatively short because everybody's talking about this. All the big name podcasters and content creators are all talking about this stuff, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. I like to spend time on stuff that less people are talking about. So this is from Snopes here. This is from Colin Rugg. He says, Snopes reverse their fact check on Ashley Biden after Ashley Biden confirmed her diary was real in a letter to Judge Laura Taylor Swain. Old Twitter would have used Snopes to ban us all for misinformation. Ashley Biden appeared to suggest that her father was a pedo. A pedo. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube. Actually, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about YouTube. I'm gonna stop self-censoring. I don't want to do any Tim Pool stuff. Ashley Biden appeared to suggest that her father was a pedophile by writing in her diary that he would have probably inappropriate showers with her. That's just worded weirdly, but yeah, that's what she said. Probably inappropriate showers with her. In a letter to Judge Swain, Ashley confirmed that her diary was real and whined that people were using it to attack her father. I don't want to attack Ashley Biden because I feel like she was under duress when she wrote this letter. We'll read it in a minute, but Snopes, a left-wing propaganda fact checker, was then forced to change their fact check rating. They originally said the story was unproven, but have now changed the rating to true. Let's see. So, a diary authored by Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden, describes actions taken toward her by her father when she was a child as probably not appropriate. Fact check true. So this is Snopes. This is one of those fact checker organizations that's I believe Politico does it. I believe the Associated Press does it. And then Facebook Meta had their company, was it Lead Stories? I think it was Lead Stories that was like quite literally created by Facebook, so they could be like, this was independently fact checked by Lead Stories. And it's like, Lead Stories is basically a subsidiary of Meta, and they would use that to say it's false and then delete it off of the internet. Like all of this stuff. Now that Twitter is back and more people are using Rumble and you can speak freely on Twitter, it's almost like people forgot how insane the censorship was during the 2020 election, leading up to the 2020 election, during COVID, even before COVID. But when COVID started, you couldn't even say the word vaccine. You couldn't even say the words ivermectin. You couldn't say all sorts of stuff. You would get nuked off of Twitter. And it seems like that's coming back. Like they've weaponized mass reporting. That was one of the tools that people used on Twitter, is an account would get targeted by whoever was behind it. Some people would say intelligence agencies, but an account would get identified and targeted. And then all these bots that may be run by people, but they're actually like bot accounts. It's one person running like 100 accounts, 20 accounts, whatever. They would mass report the same post. And then that would trigger the algorithm to suspend the account because so many people are reporting the post or the account or whatever. It's happened to me twice. Actually, this happened to me twice under Elon's new Twitter. This happened to me. I got a 7-day suspension on Twitter for telling two guys in my comments. They were like going back and forth talking about how dumb I am or whatever. And I just said, oh, you two are adorable. Are you done jerking each other off yet? And that got me a week suspension. That was when I was going after the NAFO fellas, the North Atlantic Fella Association, Adam Kinzinger and all those idiots. You know what I'm talking about? The people that are like super Ukraine war people. They use the Shiba Inu avatar. Yeah, all those freaking nerds went after me and they got my account suspended for a week. So yeah, we're way far away from that now. But Snopes, fact check true. Ashley Biden diary. It's real. It's real, guys. Fact check true. Snopes. So what did Ashley Biden say? So this is like one of the actual, this is the actual page. This is the actual page out of the diary, and circled in the page. It says, geez. I mean, I'll read the whole thing. The stuff that's circled, it says, I was molested. And then the other thing that's circled says, at a young age, showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. All right. The whole letter, the whole page actually says, I mean, it just starts off with the end of a sentence where it says my underpants, period. That's the end of the sentence. But then it says, hypersexualized at a young age. What is this due to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking the Woolsacks house. Oh, the Woolsacks house, whoever the Woolsacks are. I remember somewhat being sexualized with Caroline. I remember being I think it says being. I can't read because the line's through it. Sex with friends. At a young age, showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be. It's like, I mean, yeah, that's describing highly, highly, highly inappropriate pedophilic behavior towards her. Like, this shouldn't have been happening. Okay. I mean, imagine if this came out from one of Trump's kids. And I mean, there's some creepy shit with Trump too. There's that picture of Ivanka like on his lap, and then him saying like, if she was with my daughter, I'd date her. It's creepy stuff. It's not good. But this is like on a whole nother level. And then with the Tara Reid stuff in mind, and then all the videos of freaking Biden touching kids, primarily little girls, inappropriately, sniffing hair, all that stuff. Highly, highly inappropriate, highly, highly suspect. This is the same thing. but let's go to the actual letter she wrote. So to me, this sounds like she wrote this under duress. All right. It's kind of long, so I'll just read the whole thing. Dear Chief Judge Swan, I am deeply saddened that I even have to write this letter because my personal private journal was stolen and sold for profit. The point of the theft, I assume, was to be able to peddle grotesque lies by distorting my stream of conscious thoughts. The reason I have decided to not attend tomorrow's sentencing in person is because it would only increase my pain. Nonetheless, I write you to ask Your Honor to sentence the defendant to time in prison. Are they talking about O'Keefe? Is that who she's talking about in this? Is she talking about James O'Keefe? The defendant's actions constitute one of the most heinous forms of bullying, not to mention a complete violation of my privacy and personal dignity. After being the victim of a crime in my early 20s, I developed PTSD. The journal that was stolen was part of my efforts to heal. I am a private citizen targeted only because my father happens to be running for president. In other words, the extensive work I have done to move past my trauma was undone by Mr. Harris's actions. Okay, that's the person, I guess, that sold this to James O'Keefe. But didn't he just find this thing? It wasn't stolen from her. The defendant's actions have created a constant environment of anxiety, fear, and intimidation in which my innermost thoughts are constantly distorted and manipulated. I mean, I read you guys that page from her diary. There's no manipulation needed there. She's talking about highly inappropriate showers with her father and being turned on when she's not supposed to, being hypersexualized when she's a kid, and the trauma that caused her. I mean, that's the trauma. The diary being exposed isn't the trauma. I mean, sure, it might be additional trauma, but this letter seems like it was written under duress. Like it was written for her. I'm not saying I don't have any proof of that, but it seems to me that it was. Although this criminal act happened more than 23 years ago, because of the publicity it drew, exactly as Miss Harris intended, I am constantly re-traumatized by it. I will forever have to deal with the fact that my personal journal can be viewed online repeatedly. I hear others grossly misinterpret my once private writings and lob false accusations to defame my character and those of the people I love. It's not defaming her. She's a victim in this. It's online, it's exposed, anybody can read it, but I don't think anybody's blaming Ashley Biden here for this. Like, this is sick. She's a victim here. And, I'm not a psychologist, but I would say that part of the healing process should be to talk about this, to talk about the trauma that you were put through and that it wasn't wrong. What was done to you was wrong, Ashley Biden. I don't think people have any ill will towards her for this. I hope people look at her as a victim in all this. This is horrible. They did this to a little girl. Her actions were not only re-traumatizing to me, but constitute a horrific trauma in and of themselves. This ongoing harm is a direct result of Miss Harris's intentional actions. What about your dad's intentional actions? I ask Your Honor to sentence Miss Harris to time in prison, followed by lengthy probation. She should be held accountable for what she has done. Not only did she demonstrate the complete lack of morality, but she lacks any respect for the rule of law as well. Among other things, she has failed to appear in court 12 times. Yeah, this doesn't seem like she was written by her. They're trying to stick it to Miss Harris, whoever this was. I don't know I guess this is the person that sold O'Keefe the diary. It's like, are they going to go after the computer repair guy that had Hunter Biden's laptop? They're going to go after him in the same way? I wouldn't be shocked. My goal in asking Your Honor to impose a term of incarceration is to ensure that another woman isn't bullied and shamed like this ever again. The despair I have often felt will never truly go away, but I ask Your Honor to hold Miss Harris accountable so that she thinks twice before doing it to someone else. I have spent much of my life trying to speak up for those who cannot find their voices. I am fortunate enough to have found mine. Then I use it today and every day to make sure that bullies are held accountable. I don't think this was written by her. Finally, I worry that a non-incarceratory, that's a hard word for me to say, non-incarceratory sentence will send a message to her and others like her that it is okay to violate and exploit others for your own personal gains, regardless of the humiliation and pain it causes. Please send a message that these types of damaging criminal actions will not be tolerated. I thank your honor for your consideration. I don't think this was written by her at all. So, all right, there's that. Let's check the chat really quick. Big Grabber, nice to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Have you been gone? Have I been missing you? Missed you, buddy. American Medical Association. Yes. That is what that is, Wally. What's with the Biden kids leaving their private stuff all over the place? Yeah, like guns and dumpsters. Northside, fuck NAFO. Yes, the freaking fellows, a bunch of dorks. FPito Biden, Terry Wallace. No, the lady who found it. Gotcha. Ashley just found. Where did she find it, Terry Wallace? Like, how did she come across this thing? I don't even know that. Ashley just wants people thrown in prison because they hurt her feelings. Ridiculous. I don't think she wrote that. Like, I really don't. And I mean, has she done any interviews about this thing? And even if she has, like, I feel like she's under immense pressure by people to, whatever. Like, I don't want to be too hard on Ashley Biden. She's a freaking victim of her disgusting family. Northside, isn't it more shameful in a way that her decrepit pedo dad is our president? Yes, absolutely. It's freaking insane. Freaking madness. All right, let's keep going here. So James O'Keefe put this out today. He says, flashback, November 4th, 2021, to the decision to make a statement after my colleague Eric Spencer was raided after being approached by tipsters claiming to have a copy of the Ashley Biden diary. The day after I published the statement, I was then raided by the FBI. Although I didn't publish the diary, they confiscated my cell phones, which they still have. Years later, we have confirmation from Biden herself. The diary is in fact authentic. The legal attacks against a newsroom and confiscating their equipment over receiving a document from a source was one of the greatest violations of the First Amendment in American history. Under surveillance by the FBI on that November day in between the raids, I was afraid to make a statement, but had to send a message to them and you. The message was this: the politics of fear will not prevail in the United States of America. Are you guys following the beef that's going on between James O'Keefe and Kyle Seraphin? Kyle Seraphin, the former FBI agent, whistleblower. It sucks. Kyle Seraphin took one of my posts that I wrote up, the one I wrote up about my dad. One of the like viral posts that I had, the long write-ups that I did. The one about how I didn't get to have a funeral for my dad because it happened right in the middle of COVID, and just how it was screwed up and how shitty people acted. He read that on his show, and he started following me because of that. And I've talked to him, well, through DMs, but and he seems like a cool guy. But the beef that he has going on with James O'Keefe is giving me some serious Fed vibes. Like, are you really not an FBI agent? So. Anyway, Kyle Seraphin, he's got a beef going on with James O'Keefe. But let's watch this video that James O'Keefe put out back, like right when all this stuff was fresh, when all the Ashley Biden diary stuff was fresh. Oh, crap. I'm not even sharing. Haha. Wally almost got me. I almost played this without audio, but I caught myself.
Late last year, we were approached by tipsters claiming they had a copy of Ashley Biden's diary. We had never met or heard of the tipsters. The tipsters indicated the diary had been abandoned in a room in which Ms. Biden stayed at the time, and in which the tipsters stayed in temporarily after Ms. Biden departed the room. The tipsters indicated that the diary included explosive allegations against then-candidate Joe Biden. The tipsters indicated that they were negotiating with a different media outlet for the payment of monies for the diary. The tipsters were represented by attorneys who handled the negotiations with Project Veritas. We investigated the claims provided to us, as journalists do. We took steps to corroborate the authenticity of the diary. At the end of the day, we made the ethical decision that because, in part, we could not determine if the diary was real, if the diary in fact belonged to Ashley Biden, or if the contents of the diary occurred, we could not publish the diary and any part thereof. We attempted to return the diary to an attorney representing Ms. Biden, but that attorney refused to authenticate it. Project Veritas gave the diary to law enforcement to ensure it could be returned to its rightful owner. We never published it. Now, Ms. Biden's father's Department of Justice, specifically the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York.
Mahanish, Terry Wallace, you guys talking about the Kyle Seraphin thing? Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? Like, I didn't understand it either. And I've been like kind of trying to go down the rabbit hole, and it seems like a smear job. It like everything that I can see, like I'm not really with Kyle on it. Like he posted this long video of, you know, he's posting all this stuff that's trying to make James look bad. But I mean, you know, it's like maybe kind of sleazy a little bit, but it doesn't make him look terrible. He's just he's a dude, lots of money, and it doesn't make him look terrible. He hasn't done anything horrible, but he's like trying extra hard, like really hard to do this smear job. And it's super suspicious. It's like Fed vibes, just freaking Fed vibes.
York appears to be investigating the situation, claiming the diary was stolen. We don't know if it was, but it begs the question. In what world is the alleged theft of a diary investigated by the president's FBI and his Department of Justice a diary? This federal investigation smacks of politics. Project Veritas never threatened or engaged in any illegal conduct. Should the Southern District of New York try to take away our First Amendment rights and uncover and publish newsworthy stories without government intimidation, be assured Project Veritas will not back down. Nothing stops at Project Veritas. Let me be clear. Our mission is to serve the public's right to know by illuminating, revealing, exposing information others wish to hide for the wrong reasons. To quote Lord Acton, we believe everything kept in secret degenerates. We don't mislead or conceal. We investigate facts and potential newsworthy information. Sometimes, as was the case here, after we investigate, we decide not to publish a news story. But Project Veritas will run from nothing, and we will hide from nothing. We exist for the very purpose of discovering and revealing the truth and hope to make the world a more transparent place. Now, this is not the first time we have been attacked, and it will not be the last. We know why. We've investigated powerful people, and in many ways, we are the very tip of the spear. But we never break the law. In fact, one of our ethical rules is to act as if there are 12 jurors on our shoulders all the time. And that truth and the truth will vindicate us. When the FBI in the Southern District of New York seize reporters' notebooks, it is not just an attack on Project Veritas. It is an attack on every American and our sacred right to free speech and a free press. The First Amendment is first for a reason. It guarantees all the other rights that follow, because it's all about accountability. Without accountability, freedom itself is an illusion. So the great question is this an indicator in the direction that America is going? We've gone far beyond.
Yes, it absolutely is an indicator in that.
On the point of partisan politics in this country. They ask us to focus on our divisions. They don't ask us to focus on the things which unite us. What unites us is so much more powerful than what divides us. The First Amendment doesn't just matter to people on one side, it matters to people on all sides. That is why I'm calling on all Americans, and especially all journalists, to stand with us for the right to free speech and the free press, and to send a message that the politics of fear will not prevail in the United States of America.
Alrighty. So that's what O'Keefe had to say about it, like right off the bat. All right. So there it is, all out there. Fact check true. Ashley Biden laptop or Ashley Biden diary is there's probably a laptop out there too. It's true. It's legit. It's real. She's trying to get the judge to go after the person that found it and sold it. They went after James O'Keefe for it. I mean, the FBI went after James O'Keefe for it. And yeah, that's why this Kyle Seraphin thing makes me a little suspicious, even though, he's always speaking out against. This is the only thing he's ever done that's made me like, what's going on here, Kyle? I questioned him on it too. I was like, bro, what is this about? I was like, this seems a little extra. He didn't respond. He usually responds too. So I don't know, Kyle. I don't know what's the deal with O'Keefe, man. I mean, I'm not seeing it, dude. It's a little sus, to be honest with you, Mr. Seraphin. Let's speaking of sus, let's go over to Ed Krasenstein. What's Ed Krasenstein has to have to say about the Ashley Biden story? Okay, let's check chat. We're all caught up there. So Ed Krasenstein's doubling down. So he came out a while ago and was like, it's totally normal for fathers to shower with their daughters up to a certain age. And it's like, first of all, no. Like, I have a sister. I have an older sister growing up. I promise you, my dad like bathed her in the bathtub. Sure, when she was a toddler or like very young baby, it's part of your parent. You got to wash the kid. They get all filthy and nasty. But you don't get naked and climb in the shower with them. That's something else entirely. That's freaking weird. It's more than weird. That's pedo-y. That is some pedo shit. And here's Ed Krasenstein like, it's totally normal to shower with your kids up to a certain age. No, it's not, Ed. No, it's not, you freaking creep. So here's Ed Krasenstein. Here are the facts around Ashley Biden. Yes, in her diary, she said that showers with her father were probably inappropriate. No, she never claimed in her diary that she was molested by her father. Yeah, she did. Didn't she? Like, look it right here. Here's the page. Here's the page right here. I was molested. Like, what? Ed? Let's read that again. So, yes, in her diary, she said that showers with her father were probably inappropriate. No, she never claimed in her diary that she was molested by her father and never implied it. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to the letter. Hypersexualized at a young age. What does this due to? I was molested. I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. What, Ed? I'm sorry. How much do they pay you, Ed Krasenstein? Because you are suspect as hell. You are suspect as hell. Anyway, we'll keep the Joe Biden thing again. Anyway. No, she never said how old she was when she showered with her father. She could have been 3 or she could have been 13. And either of them would have been creepy at worst. Creepy and weird, I mean, at best. You don't need to get naked to bathe your 3-year-old. That's weird. That's pedo-y. Like, what are you talking about, Ed? No, she never said how old she was when she showered with her father. She could have been 3 or she could have been 13. You freaking creep, Ed Krasenstein. If you ask many people on X if it's okay for a father to shower with his daughter, some will say that it's never appropriate. Some will say it's appropriate up to a certain age. No, the bots that are paid for by the federal government and your followers will say that because they're bought and paid for, or pedos. Only pedos will say that. No normal person will say it's okay for a father to get naked and shower with his 3-year-old kid. And Ashley Biden very clearly was much older than 3, probably a teenager or a kid, a preteen. That she remembers it very clearly. I don't remember anything from when I was 3. I remember one thing from when I was 5, and it was when I got hit by a car. And that's the only reason I remember it, because I got hit by a freaking car. Like, Ed, you freaking creep. Some will say it's appropriate up to a certain age. To most medical professionals and psychologists, it becomes inappropriate somewhere around 3 to 5 years old. And they're probably talking about bathing your child, like giving your child a bath, being in the same bathroom while your child is bathing. Not you getting naked and taking a shower with your daughter, you sick freaking creep. Like, what are you trying to justify here? Like, it's so triggering. That doesn't mean it's that doesn't mean it's wrong to think it's inappropriate at any age under that or over that. Yeah, no shit, Ed, because it is wrong. Fact is, we don't know how old Ashley Biden was. We just know that she has memories of showering with her dad. Well, when do people's earliest memories normally start, Ed? You freaking... And that she think that age at which... I got to read this again because he's getting pretty shitty at typing here. Fact is, we don't know how old Ashley Biden was. We just know that she has memories of showering with her dad and that she thinks that the age at which she was showering with her dad was probably inappropriate. That's all we know. I can't with this guy. Anyone trying to claim additional details is lying. Anyone trying to tell you how old she was doesn't know. She's old enough to have the memories, Ed. She's old enough for that. And if you're getting naked and having a shower with your kid, that is wrong. That is pedo-y. And you are suspect, Ed Krasenstein. She should have been 3 years old, and her opinion is that 3-year-olds shouldn't shower with their fathers. So she wrote that it was probably inappropriate. She could have been 3 years old, and her opinion is that 3-year-olds shouldn't shower with her father. So she wrote that it was probably inappropriate. Oh my God. That doesn't mean that Joe Biden didn't do anything inappropriate, wrong, or illegal. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean Joe Biden did anything inappropriate, wrong, or illegal. Yeah, it does, Ed. Yeah, it does. If he got naked and had a shower with his daughter at any age, it's inappropriate. That, to say the least. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions without all the facts. People on the right will assume the worst possible scenario, and those on the left will assume the best. We won't ever know the full facts unless Ashley wants to tell them. If this was Trump in the exact same scenario, Ed would be spinning this the entire opposite way. So frustrating. So, okay. That's the Ashley Biden situation. That's... I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. It's... Ed Krasenstein is such a freaking creep. Just unbelievable creep. And yeah, I don't know where to go with that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Enough of the Ashley Biden story. It's freaking insane. Insane. Check in with the chat here. Okay, you guys got quiet. Hopefully I'm still streaming. Yeah, I appear to be. All right. What do you guys think? I mean, is Ed Krasenstein off his freaking rocker? Okay, man, his Krasensteins are both creeps. Yeah. Brian was talking about how, remember the Pride Parade when the guys were riding around naked on bikes, and Brian was like, it's perfectly normal for kids to see naked, creepy gay dudes riding around on bikes naked. Naked, creepy gay dudes naked? Yeah, I just said that. They're freaking creeps. They're absolute creeps. And I don't think they would be creeps if they weren't paid to be creeps. It's Pete Grabber, thank you. It's insane. I can't. I don't know where I don't know where to go with that. They're paid shills. I need to do a deep dive into the Krasensteins and see. I mean, apparently they got caught for some Ponzi scheme back in like 2017. There's like a whole DOJ thing on it. And my whole tinfoil theory is that they got busted for their Ponzi scheme by the DOJ. And the DOJ is like, hey, you want to, instead of going to jail and paying massive fines, you want to help us out? You want to be an online influencer for us? Like, I think they're an asset. I personally think the Krasnosteins are both assets, but I have no way to prove that. There's that video floating around of one of them standing at the counter and somebody like secretly recording them talking about how they get paid to do this stuff. They say that was a troll. Like, they put that out there on purpose, troll people to make them, freak out about it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they got busted for a Ponzi scheme by the DOJ, and the shit that they say is always so in one direction. They're always, the way they defend Biden is like nobody would defend Biden about this stuff. Nobody. People that voted for him, people that are completely delusional. Like, I have never in my life met somebody that is as supportive of Biden as there are people for Trump. There's people that think Trump is like some god, and I am not one of those people. I'm not even sure I'm going to vote for Trump, guys. I'm just saying, I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure. But I've never met anybody that is like super pro Biden, that is like a huge Joe Biden fan. Never met one of them. But I'm sure they exist. There's got to be some freaking psychos out there. Anyway, all right. So Biden's White House is trying to backtrack on the whole freaking Gaza Israel situation because what's funny is, you guys know how I feel about the whole situation, and yes, I do not approve of what Israel is doing in Gaza. I'll be doing a very deep dive into a lot of that stuff soon. But aside from all of that, Biden is actually withholding aid, and Israel's not too fond of that. And now he's trying to play both sides because his base really obviously isn't a fan of this whole war on Gaza and the Palestinians and all that stuff. You see all the stuff going on campuses, and he's losing massive support, but he's also losing support of Israel. So it's like, I think Biden is the politician who's received the most funding of any politician from AIPAC. Well, it's not directly from AIPAC. They have all these other freaking PACs that they contribute to, and then they give money to politicians. But Biden has been a huge receiver of money from Israel, and now they put what's his face up there to talk about how no, it's totally not genocide, guys. It's not genocide. So this is just a quick 15-minute clip.
4, we believe Israel can and must do more to ensure the protection and well-being of innocent civilians. We do not believe what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. We have been firmly on record rejecting that proposition.
Okay. He gets called out on that by some White House correspondent that's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Like, according to this document here, what genocide is, and she lists off all the criteria for genocide, and she's like, well, it's like very clear that Israel's attack on Gaza meets all of this criteria for what is defining a genocide. So it does appear that, like, according to this article, Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. And he's just like, nope, no, they're not. We don't believe so. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. We'll keep going here. Let's go over to the other freaking Krasnostein pedo twin. He's railing against Trump here about something, but I'm not even going to read what Krasnostein wrote because I don't care. It was more just that the video was there. So let's see what Trump has to say. He came out and, I was actually pleased with what he said here. So this is about vaccine mandates and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'll play this quick clip from Trump.
The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants that are coming. Gee whiz, you know what else is coming? An election. They want to restart the COVID hysteria so they can justify more lockdowns, more censorship, more illegal drop boxes, more mail-in ballots, and trillions of dollars in payoffs to their political allies heading into the 2024 election. Does that sound familiar? These are bad people. These are sick people we're dealing with. But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take away our freedom, hear these words: we will not comply. So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandates. And
Sorry, I don't know about you guys, but for me, this is like too little, too late. But I don't want to. You guys think what you want to think. I mean, I like the spirit of it. I like what he's saying, but it's like, hey, where were you back in 2020? How did you let all these swamp creatures like Fauci and everybody else around you run roughshod and do all this shit?
we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates. They rigged the 2020 election, and now they're trying to do the same thing all over again by rigging the most important election in the history of our country, the 2024 election.
What camera are they using here? Does this look like they're using some old some old timey camera? It looks like, why does he look like Franklin Delano Roosevelt talking into a camera right here? What is going on?
Even if it means trying to bring back COVID, but they will fail because we will not let it happen. When I'm back in the White House, I will use every available authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation system that imposes a mask mandate or a vaccine mandate.
Schools aren't doing that anymore, Trump. You're too late on this. Like, schools aren't doing the vaccine mandates or mask mandates. Why weren't you doing that? Why aren't you threatening shutting down funding? That's frustrating. Like, California schools went off the freaking rails. Off the rails.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's it. That's it with the Trump stuff. All right. I'm going to play this next clip, and I'm going to let it play all the way through because I'm going to try and go run and pee while it's playing. It's only a minute long. I know you guys didn't need to know that information, but I just want to be transparent with you guys. So this is a pretty funny clip. This is actually I think it's the guitar player from Mumford and Sons, and he got like kicked out of the band because I think he refused the vaccine or refused a booster or something like that, and they kicked him out of the band for all that shit. So he's on this is at Oxford Union, whatever that is, which is clearly a union that was named after me. But yeah, it's just funny what he has to say here, because at the very end of it, Nancy Pelosi's there, and she just has to speak out and say something. So I'll play this clip, and I'll try to be back in 1 minute. Hopefully I am. Northside, you don't want to kill every Jew, and that makes you a wimp, BJ Mike. Yeah, I know. I had a troll in the chat last episode, and she or he, I think it was a transgender, wasn't too stoked that I didn't want to deport Jews that were born in America. Like, it was madness. It was insane. Yeah, it's crazy when you get called anti-Semitic and a Zionist in the same week. It's pretty. I mean, I was pretty proud of myself, actually. It must mean I'm over the target if I'm getting called anti-Semitic and a Zionist at the same time. Wasn't he president in 2020? Exactly. Trump, you're freaking annoying. It's funny. Pete Grabber, you say the Krasensteins are a bunch of wenches. That was the other thing I got suspended for a week for. I called somebody a wench. Actually, I think that was I might have been my old account. I got suspended once, and I appealed, and I refused to delete the tweet, and that account stayed in appeals purgatory for over a year. And finally, I went and deleted the tweet, and immediately my account was restored. But it was because I called someone a wench. I called a woman a wench, and my account got suspended. Like, that was old Twitter. Appealed the tweet, and it was gone for like a year. So that was actually my first Twitter account. And then I made a new one, this one that you're watching on now, and that's the account that blew up. So my old account that got restored, that's actually the account that I got suspended for calling the chick a wench. Anyway, all right. I'm going to play this video for you guys. So this is a dude from Mumford and Sons talking about election interference and stuff.
Before COVID, Intelligence services colluded with big tech to have Trump suspended off Twitter. Yes, the same platform which hosted the Taliban and Ayatollah deaf to Israel Khomeini, they thought the president crossed the line when he tweeted on Jan 6th, quote, "Remain peaceful, no violence, respect the law and our great men and women in blue." That's a quote. You may be thinking now that Trump is a populist. You are right. He didn't accept the 2020 elections, and he should have. So should Hillary in 2016, so should Brussels, and so should Westminster in 2016, and so too should Congresswoman Pelosi, instead of saying the 2016 election was, quote, hijacked. Quote, hijacked. Thank you.
Did you hear that? She says, it was. So it's such a double standard. And then here's her justifying what she said.
Means that we don't accept the results of it.
But they have to accept the results. That's freaking Pelosi. Unbelievable. Pelosi that freaking set the whole trap of J6, the one that masterminded that whole thing. All right. That's all the Biden White House stuff that I want to talk about for the evening. This is sort of it doesn't really fit into the show. This whole I guess story. This is just something that I came across earlier that I just wanted to talk about really quick because it's sort of concerning. So this shows credit card delinquency, and it also shows auto loans and home loans. Mortgages, auto loans, and credit card delinquencies. And this is a bit concerning. So look back. This is 07, 08, 09. You see this trend. So this is the yellow line here. This is mortgages. And you see it starts climbing up in Q1 of 07. Maybe even Q4 of 06, it starts trending up. And I mean, if you guys have seen The Big Short or read the book The Big Short, you see like Michael Burry was really early, and he started short. He was the first one to do it. Started shorting the housing market. And well, he was really early to it, but you see this keeps going up, and it hits its peak in, late 2009, like Q4 2009, Q1 2010. And then stuff starts coming back down and normalizing. But look at credit card debt right here. That's the blue line. This is highly concerning. Starting at about Q1 of 2022, it starts ramping up. And now we're into Q1 of 2024. So that's a 2 full year trend right here. And you can look back, same time that the housing market started going to shit back in 09, look at credit card delinquencies. Same thing. It goes right in line with the mortgages. Because, same thing starts happening. People start getting stretched. They start putting things on their credit cards, and then their credit runs out. And then it's like they're scrambling to keep up minimum payments, all that shit. People are putting their rent on their credit card. And I'm one of them. You guys have no idea how bad things are. I'm just trying to keep on a happy face. But this is, it's right there with mortgages. And then you got home loans or auto loans. Sorry. A lot of people, I've been hearing for a long time that auto loans are the new bubble, that, they're not doing collateralized debt obligations anymore. They don't have the problem with the rating agencies anymore. You can't just be anybody and get a freaking loan for a house anymore. Like that was like the 3-pronged thing that was going on with the housing market way back in the day. Anybody could get a loan for a house, like anybody. And then they had these things called collateralized debt obligations, CDOs, where they would bundle all of these mortgages together, and they would take like shit garbage mortgages, like no no income verification, low credit scores, just like really bad looking mortgages, really bad looking loans. And those individual loans would be rated at like a C, a B minus or whatever by the rating agencies. And they would take those and they would bundle a bunch of really shitty mortgages together. And then somehow they'd take them back to that same rating agency and they'd rate them at AAA. You'd say, these are great. This is like a great package. And then everybody started buying on these collateralized debt obligations. And when the bottom started falling out of all of those mortgages, they kept rating them at AAA. And like, that's how the whole housing market crash happened and why all of these banks lost tons of money because they had all these CDOs on their books. Well, a lot of people are saying that same sort of thing is now happening with auto loans, and they have new versions of collateralized debt obligations. But, not everybody can get a mortgage anymore. I guess the rating agencies have gotten better. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I don't know why I even know some of this stuff. I don't have enough money to own a home. I'm not a financial guy at all. This stuff just interests me. But this credit card delinquency right here, this is not looking good. You see the student loan shit. That's Biden trying to buy back voters right there. Oh no, they're all mad at me about Palestine. Better forgive their loans. That's what you see right here. Well, I mean, that's obviously before October 7th, but I mean, didn't the Supreme Court say he couldn't do that? Whatever. I guess he doesn't care. So and you see auto loans starting to spike right here too. So it's not looking good, folks. And back in 2009, you see everything. So HE revolving, I don't even know what HE revolving is. Maybe you guys can tell me in the chat. I don't know what that means. But you see everything spiking at the same time. Student loans are sort of like their own thing. So I wouldn't even look at the red line. That doesn't even matter so much. But you see credit card, mortgages, and auto loans all doing the same thing at the same time. Auto loans, weren't as bad. And that bubble never really popped, apparently. I'm sure there was quite a few repos back then. But, I mean, credit card delinquencies and mortgages were right in line with each other. Here, mortgages, I mean, they're spiking a little bit. But, I mean, nothing like what we saw back in 2009 so far. And I think a lot of that is because all of these big, like BlackRock and shit and all these other investors are buying homes. So like as soon as a home goes on the market, they're getting bought up by banks. They're not waiting for shit to go into foreclosure. They're just buying them, turning them into long-term rentals. They're trying to make everybody renters. So this credit card delinquency rate shit right here, this is highly concerning to me. But I'm not a financial expert either. I'm just looking at a graph and I'm a fucking retard. Let's be honest. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's I feel like I'm seeing something bad here. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Maybe that's a good sign. Who knows? Maybe you guys can tell me. All right, we'll keep going here. I am not a financial expert, folks. All right, enough of that. So, man, I hope I can get through all my California stuff. I've talked about all this shit for way too long. I didn't want to talk about it for that long. Yeah, I want to talk about California stuff now. Actually, you know what? Let's see here. Actually, I do want to talk about some other stuff here. So I'm gonna shill a little bit more really quick, you guys. Just want to tell you guys that I signed up for the Amazon affiliate program. And what that means is if you click on links that I share and it brings you to them and you purchase something, you don't even need to purchase the link that I share. If you click on a link that I share in like the show notes here, I'll put it as the first comment over on Twitter. If you guys are watching over on Twitter, I'll put it as the first comment. Actually, maybe I'll do that. No, I don't want to do it during the show. I don't want to waste time. But it's all in the Rumble description. So if you click on any of the links that I post and it brings you to Amazon and you buy anything, I get like a tiny little percentage off of that. I get like a 1, 2, or a 3% per commission off of whatever you purchase. You guys purchase a jar of peanut butter, I might get a 1, 2, 3% commission off of that, whatever it is. But I figure I might as well share things that I like with you guys. So one book that I'm always talking about, One Nation Under Blackmail, like to me, this is one of the most important books I've ever written. It's changed the lens that I view everything that is happening right now. Everything that's happening right now, I look through that lens. Whitney Webb's One Nation Under Blackmail. You guys should all own it. If you are watching on Rumble, the link is in the show description right now. Again, over on Twitter, I'll put it as the first comment when the show is over. But One Nation Under Blackmail, great book. You guys should read it. It's available on audiobook and Kindle as well. If you sign up for Kindle, all that stuff, it all helps the show. Then you've got this book right here, Chaos. The Charles Manson shit and the CIA and all the MK Ultra stuff. This book's insane. This book is absolutely insane, guys. And it's sort of in that same vein of the One Nation Under Blackmail stuff. It's intelligence agencies and just crazy shit. The Charles Manson story is absolutely insane. If you guys are a Californian as well, especially if you're a Southern Californian, this story is like, it's not even a story. It's just a compilation of all this information. This guy, Tom O'Neill, he was on Joe Rogan, did a really long podcast on there. The London Guardian did a really long story on it. Super interesting. Just go down that rabbit hole. It's also available on audiobook, on Kindle, and all that stuff. And then last product I will shill for the evening is these t-shirts. It sounds funny, but you guys, these t-shirts, I'm telling you, these are the only t-shirts I wear. I'm wearing them right now, and you've probably noticed that every show I wear a black t-shirt, unless I'm wearing my CaliBased shirt, and that's also a black t-shirt. That's also a long tee. These are called La Tao Tao. I think they're actually an Amazon brand, but I have fallen in love with these freaking t-shirts. I'm 6'6" and I'm thin. So if you're tall and thin, these t-shirts are the best freaking t-shirts. If you have an athletic build, these are also fantastic t-shirts. But the best reason to wear these t-shirts is if you conceal carry. If you conceal carry and you are an appendix carry person, these shirts are definitely for you. They are excellent for that exact purpose. So yeah, if you guys like concealed carrying, especially appendix carry, these shirts are fantastic for that. La Tao Tao tees. They are also, all of these links are in the show notes description over on Rumble, and I highly recommend all the stuff that I just shared with you. But again, if you click any of these links and you just go shopping on Amazon after clicking the link, you're like logged in under my whatever. I don't really know how it works, but yeah, anything you purchase after that, I will get like a small percentage for. So it's not even like you're purchasing anything extra. Anything you got to buy, you guys got to buy some like laundry detergent or whatever you order on Amazon. You click a link and you go to that, then I'll get credit for it. So, all right, I'll stop shilling. I'll stop shilling for Amazon. But those are all products that I like. All right, let's go over to some California stuff, shall we? All right, let's go over to Dr. David Ameti. This is a dude that I've become a very big fan of over on the X platform. I'm hoping to meet him soon. I'm going to a speaking thing on Thursday in Monterey, and it's about offshore wind, and it's with a scientist who I will be getting on the show soon. His name's Michael Hogan. He's been leading the charge about all of this offshore wind stuff and how it's all a freaking giant money grab. It has nothing to do with the environment like anything else California does. That is not what they're doing. And David Ameti's been talking a lot about that, the whole green climate agenda that California is doing. Dr. David Ameti, if you don't follow him over on Twitter, it's at HOUMANHEMMATI. He's an awesome dude. He's on Fox News every now and then. He's a really smart guy, and I believe he's going to be doing something big very soon. So somebody to follow. He's a Californian, and he is awesome. But here he is talking about the it's not a gas tax. You can't all that gas tax money goes away when you start driving an electric vehicle, doesn't it? I mean, that's something maybe they didn't plan for that. It's like, oh crap, using less gas, that means the gas tax doesn't apply. Well, what is California doing? California paying EV drivers $400 to test a per mile driven tax. So Dr. Ameti says As expected, California's own plan to mandate EVs threatens $9 billion a year in gas tax revenue. So they want to make EV drivers pay for each mile driven as a road charge. They know tax is a bad word. Much of the EV savings comes from avoiding the high gas tax, but Newsom wants to take that away as well. So very similar to what they did with solar, with what they tried to promote everybody get into solar. It's like, you're not going to have to pay the electricity company anymore. And we'll actually pay you when your excess energy goes back into the grid. We'll pay you. No, now people that put solar panels on their house are like paying PG&E some fee. They're just getting extorted. Like one of the main reasons people got solar was so they didn't have to pay PG&E anymore, pay the state, and they could be more off grid. No, they're screwing the solar people too. They're going to do the same thing to people that want to buy electric vehicles for whatever the reason. They want to save the environment. They don't want to pay for gas anymore. Well, screw you guys. Your EV, you're going to get taxed as well. They're just going to call it a road charge and not a tax. So this allegedly pro-environment administration is the same one that has made EV ownership more expensive with new taxes, made it impossible to financially justify adding solar, just like I just said, supported ripping out thousands of rare Joshua trees to install solar. You guys heard about that? You guys know about Joshua trees too? So like, it's just another example of this shit is not about the environment at all. It's totally not about the environment. It's just, the people that are behind like the offshore wind stuff, and I would imagine the photovoltaic panels as well. It's like BP and Orlo. They were both big oil companies that have just sort of pivoted because they realized, okay, well, they're going a different direction and we have trillions of dollars. Let's just put our money in the direction that the state is pushing all this shit. So when Gavin's railing against big oil and we're going to stick it to big oil because we're going all electric now. No, they're the ones that are building the windmills. They're the ones that are financing the ships that have to service all these windmills. They're still using petroleum products to build all this stuff. There's still gear oil in the windmills. Gavin's full of shit. It's same exact people are going to get rich off of this. But saying it's not about the environment. That's why they want to rip out Joshua trees to put solar panels in that'll get destroyed in one hailstorm. Is spending billions of our own money to install environmentally devastating and expensive offshore wind power that will destroy ocean views, pollute the sea, and kill marine creatures, including whales and dolphins. Yes, he's saying that same administration that's doing all that. Bribing people with $400 to test the new road tax will guarantee their survey results will be invalid. Who wouldn't express excitement after being paid considerable taxpayer money to test a new tax? But they won't tell us that. One day Newsom will stand at a podium telling us we tested the road tax and 93% of people in the pilot program said they love it. He's right. You know Newsom will do this. California has the highest gas, utility, vehicle, income, sales, property in absolute amount, not percentage, due to housing prices, taxes, and governmental fees in the nation. The state has a spending problem, not a revenue problem. We must push back against these new taxes. Please sign up at the link below, get $400, and make sure the survey expresses major dissatisfaction in the road tax. Oh, okay. So he's not even saying don't participate in this. He's saying, no, participate in it, get paid, and then tell them, fuck you. Your tax, shove your tax up your ass. We don't like this. So this is the link. So yeah, California road charge. Visit carroadcharge.com. That's what they're calling it. That's their website, carroadcharge.com. Tell us what you think. To express interest or learn more about the pilot, visit calroadcharge.com. So if you guys got an electric vehicle, I think it's got to be all electric. It can't be hybrid. But to sign up May through June of 2024, if you guys got an electric vehicle, sign up for this. Get paid $400. I mean, it's money in your pocket. And then just tell them you guys suck. Screw you. Don't do this. We hate you. Yeah. So you got to take 2 surveys. These state-run programs, man, it's fucking insane. Unbelievable. I don't even know if I was sharing that with you guys, was I? Probably wasn't. Doesn't matter. I was just reading it anyway. All right, let's keep going here. So yeah, that's the California road charge. How's so how is the electric vehicle market doing anyway? How's the infrastructure doing? This is from Kevin Dalton. Look at this video.
Cut all the Tesla charging cables.
Oh, the tweakers.
You would think that it's a protest or some symbol of activism.
No,
It's not.
no, it's
It's the
tweakers.
Bay Area. These things have a load of copper in them.
Look at that.
You're gonna recycle them and cash them up.
Oh, the meth heads.
One.
And I mean,
Cut.
these would not be hard. You guys know what loppers are? Even like garden shears, the big long handle garden shears to chop those things right off. I mean, I would think you'd get shocked to shit. I wouldn't risk doing that. But I'm also not a tweaker. So look at this. It's so funny.
All the Tesla charging cables. You would think that it's a protest.
It's so funny. I don't mean to laugh, but it's hilarious. It's just, you're not seeing gas pump hoses getting cut because they can go recycle those. Freaking hilarious, man. And what do you got at the same time? Oh, there's another one. So these are all these charging stations. So nobody can access these charging stations because they got all these homeless encampments built around them. This is California. This is California in a nutshell right here. Look at what it says on the sidewalk here. These are electric vehicle charging only. Don't park here, guys. Who the hell would want to park here next to these homeless encampments? Like, this is oh, welcome to California. This is Gavin Newsom's 12 or 15-year plan. It was a 10-year plan and homelessness in San Francisco, and we're like 15 years later. And it's like two of his initiatives in one: his electric vehicle initiative and his end homelessness initiative, all in one picture. How's that going? How it started, how it's going. Here it is. This is Gavin Newsom's policies in action for you guys. Oh, it's hysterical. All right, now let's go to something that's going to trigger me and not make me laugh. So, gas prices are already, like by my house, they're about $6 a gallon. Yes, you heard me right, you guys that aren't in California. Like Supreme is like $6 a gallon right now. It's like $5.60, $5.70 a gallon last time I filled up. Like, how insane is that? Up here in the Santa Cruz Mountains, it's probably the same over in Santa Cruz, probably the same in San Jose, up and down the peninsula. It's around there. It's more than $5 a gallon, which is just absolutely insane. Well, and there's already like $1.29 or like $1.50 or some shit that just goes to California. That's just right on top of your gas prices, like $1.50 a gallon. It's just all these. There's not just one tax. It's all these other taxes. They want to put another 50 cents on top of all of that. This is their plan. This is what they plan on doing. So this is let's go to this article from KTVU Fox News. KTVU Fox 2. Oh, it's CARB. How about that? California Air Resources Board strikes again. Okay, let's just watch the video. I don't want to read the article. Yeah, I'm lazy. Let's just watch the video.
It's KTVU's Amanda Quintana with why industry experts say they believe we are seeing the latest increase and how drivers are dealing with the spike.
What was your first reaction when you saw the price this morning?
Oh, crap. Wow. For me.
So funny. What are you laughing at? You freaking idiots.
Many, the rise in gas prices is shocking, but not surprising.
Unfortunately, it's just become kind of a way of life nowadays where they aren't even surprised anymore. The gas prices just are constantly going up. And I just kind of expect to come to the car wash and spend like $90 or $100 to fill up my car.
and I'm the guy that's always like, California elections are rigged. It's not because I genuinely don't think that half the California population is voting for this shit. But then I hear these three people in a row. They're just like, well, you know, it is what it is. And this guy's like, yeah, I just expect it. It's because you're voting for it. You fucking moron. These are the people that you're supporting. This is your fault. Triggered.
So why have prices gone up? The AP says Saudi Arabia's decision to cut back on the amount of oil it sends to global markets has pushed prices higher.
Oh, it's the Saudis, guys. It's not California government why California gas taxes are like $2 higher than everybody else's. It's not California government, guys. It's totally the Saudi Arabians.
It's been slashing production since July and will extend the cut through the end of the year.
And why are we going to Saudi Arabia anyway? California has tons of oil. We're just shutting down our oil refineries and we're not pumping our own oil out of the ground. Why? Why are we going to Saudi Arabia? So the AP can use them as a scapegoat?
That's just one piece of the puzzle.
A lot of that has to do with extenuating circumstances this year, refinery issues that have been hitting for most of the country and laid off.
You see his shirt? His shirt says gas buddy. Oh, he's your buddy. This is your gas buddy. Oh, I hate this man already.
August, coupled with the fact that oil prices are at their highest level since November of last year, has kind of created this unique peak in the fall that we tend to see in the summer months.
According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular gas today is $3.84. In California, it's $5.82.
$2 higher than the national average. $2 a gallon. You got a 15-gallon tank? That's $30 every time you fill up, guys. Every time you fill up, because California is stupid. It's not the Saudis.
And that's more than 50 cents more than the average here a month ago. On Friday, the state's director of the new Division of Petroleum Market Oversight released his own list of reasons why prices are so high, including blaming a single isolated trade on California's spot market, the internal market where gas is sold in bulk. In a letter to Governor Gavin Newsom, the director said the transaction caused the price per gallon to rise by nearly 50 cents. That one trade likely cost Californians millions of dollars at the pump, forcing people to adjust their budgets.
I put aside at least $150 for gas, and I can't always fill it up, so it's like 20 here, 20 there sometimes.
What is she happy about? Why is she smiling? If they would have interviewed me, I would have been screaming. Well, you probably wouldn't have saw my interview I would have been just like, Gavin Newsom is a psychopath. All of this is because of California government. Fuck Gavin Newsom. Yeah, they wouldn't have used my interview.
Rethink what they'll do on their lunch break.
Maybe just have a coffee break, and it's cheaper than I go home.
And some are even considering leaving California.
Probably one of the most expensive places to live in the world now. And with gas prices and everything else always costing a lot of money, it's just starting to be taxing on us.
The shitty ground beef at the grocery store, if you're buying like the single packets of, 1 pound of ground beef, I don't like buying ground beef in bulk because I don't like freezing it and all that kind of shit, but it is cheaper if you buy it in bulk. But the 1 pound packets of ground beef, if you want grass fed here, you're paying $10 a pound. No shit. Ground beef at the grocery store, $10 a pound. Like the grass fed good ground beef, the cheapest you're going to find is going to be $7 a pound. $6 a pound, maybe, if you find it in one of these random grocery stores. Seriously, that's what you're paying for ground beef. Electricity prices through the freaking roof. Everything is astronomical. Everything. And my landlord just told me my rent is $1,800. Everybody's telling me it's illegal for him to do this. I live in what's considered a single family home, even though it's my place that I live in is listed at 322 square feet, the size of my house. Yes, 322 square feet. It's basically a tiny home. I think it's more than that. It's probably around 500 square feet. But I basically live in a tiny home. It's freaking tiny. I pay $1,800 for it. My landlord told me he's going to be raising my rent $600 to $800 a month. That's like 40%. you guys. More than 40% if it's 800. And I think he can do it because this house was built in 1954. It's considered a single family home. And I pay directly to the owner of the house. He's not going through a property management company. So it seems like there's a loophole in the law. It's hairy. It's hard for me to figure it out. I've consulted my lawyer and all that stuff, but like gas, food, electricity, now my rent is supposed to go up, and I'm hanging on by a thread. I'm not even hanging on. Like legit, you guys contributing to the show, and like when people tip me on Twitter and shit, that's what's keeping me afloat. No joke. And then I have to deal with people saying, like, you're always begging for money. It's like, no, I'm not. If you appreciate what I do, then great. Like, support me. Awesome. But like, no, I'm not trying to beg people for money. I refuse to do that. I haven't sold feet pics. I haven't gone on OnlyFans. Like, there's shit that I refuse to do that I consider degrading that I won't freaking do either. Like, I won't beg for money. I won't go stand out on the corner. But so I've tried to create this thing, this product. This is my product where I talk about shit that's going on and complain on the internet. But I also do deep dive episodes where I've learned so much since I started doing this. I try to learn as much as I can since I have free time. Since, again, this all started with me refusing to wear a mask because of California policies. Then I speak out against it, end up on Tucker Carlson. My Twitter account blows up. And now no one will hire me. In my career before of 18 years, I never had to look for work. Only time I would ever leave a company before is when another company came to me and was like, hey, we'll pay you way more money to come work for us. Okay. That's every single time I left a company was because of that. Because I was good at what I did. I'm a good communicator as well. And I'm actually pretty nice when I don't have to deal with psychopaths. I was good at my job and I never had to search for work before. Now no one will touch me because I refuse to wear a mask. It's all California government shit that's like trying to destroy me. So what did I do? I tried to build my own freaking thing. And that has been what's keeping me afloat. And my best friend, who I owe money. I owe money to people because, yeah. Anyway, people are having to leave California because they're just, you can't afford it anymore. Food, electricity, gas, rent, all of it is skyrocketing. The middle class is being destroyed. I don't understand why tons of people haven't left yet. All right, sorry, that was my tangent.
You look at the average price of gas, the most expensive counties in the Bay Area are San Mateo, San Francisco, Marin, Sonoma, and Napa. The cheapest is Solano. In Walnut Creek, Amanda Quintana, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Look at the gas prices behind her. $5.47 for regular. $5.47. So frustrating. So freaking frustrating. All right. And then, it's like we're expected, the middle class are expected to like, okay. So also, I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I don't do any drugs. My one vice is this, Red Bull. And it is an expensive habit. And I'm doing everything I can to quit drinking Red Bull. I have cut out everything that's an extra expense. I don't even give my dogs the fancy dog food anymore. I can't afford the fancy dog food. So now they're getting the freaking carcinogen filled cancer dog food. And it sucks. I hate it. I hate that. And I eat I'll make like ground beef steaks. That's what I do. Like that's what I eat. I eat like ground beef and eggs and tuna sandwiches. Like that's what I eat. That's like all I eat. Californians are being forced to live on a shoestring budget, have just the bare minimum, the bare essentials just to get by. And then what does California government do? Oh, they just lose billions of dollars. Can't figure out where it went. Like, so here's Gavin Newsom getting called out for having a $100 billion surplus to oopsie daisies. We have a massive budget shortfall.
Can we explain to Californians how we moved from a $100 billion surplus to such a significant deficit in just a matter of a few years?
Well, it's, we can explain it. $349 billion of unprecedented capital gains, 11.6%, when traditional capital gains is around 5.18% on average. It's almost double. So you have massive volatility. You have requirements under Prop 2, the GAN. You have requirements under Prop 98, which require that set aside. We use 93% of our surplus which is, I want to be careful, either on the higher end or without precedent for one-time purposes. So
this is all gaslighting. It's all gaslighting. He's always explaining numbers and fake charts and bullshit to say, no, it's not actually gone. No, you're actually doing way better than you think you are. No, electricity is not that expensive. It's all gaslighting. All of it. This dude is a fucking psychopath, and I hate him.
we anticipated, because we didn't want that surplus to go to ongoing commitments, we anticipated that shortfall. What we didn't anticipate is these rain bombs in December, January, February, and March.
Oh, here it comes. It's climate change, guys.
Atmospheric rivers that led to a federal declaration that led to FEMA and the IRS moving in a direction where we couldn't collect our taxes until, I believe, November 16th, as opposed to April 15th. And so therein lied this blackout period that beguiled all of us, the LIO, finance, economists, experts. And interestingly, I mean, who's been at the White House recently, had an impact in terms of the IRS collections as well with their estimates, because there were other states that had similar delays in their taxes related to weather events. If there was any indication that climate change has impacts well beyond.
Drink. Everyone drink. Gavin Newsom said climate change, and that's what he blamed the budget shortfall on. Oh, everybody take a drink.
Those that are often promoted, I would consider our financial delays as just another example of why we need to tackle them. Another reason I'm looking forward to conversations that we'll be having next week.
I hate him. I hate him so much. I hate that man with every ounce of my being. Let's go to another Gavin clip. This is so Gavin Newsom is suing Huntington Beach right now about their whole, if a developer wants to build housing, California makes it so they have to include a certain amount of affordable housing. Like, that's going to help the homelessness issue. And there's, like building, like, what are you talking about? Units that are built shittily that cost less? Like, what is this state mandated affordable housing? It's the market determines the price of housing, and there's no such thing as affordable housing in California. That's why people that are 40 years old like me, millennials, Gen Zers, will never own a home around here. Well, my parents, you guys look at a graph from the 90s, the 80s, the 90s, when my parents bought their home. My dad sold his home in 1995. It skyrocketed like 3 times the value that he sold it for in 4 years. 4 years. Like my dad could have been technically a millionaire. Instead, he slept on a pull-out couch for 9 years, so me and my sister could have our own bedroom. The housing market is all false. It's all fake. It's because of zoning shit, because they force this affordable housing shit, because they don't allow people to just buy land and go build a home. Then there's, restrictions on development, how people have to build their houses, like what materials they have to use and all that shit. All of this stuff adds cost. And that's why housing is so expensive. It's all fake. It's all because of policy. And then he is holding Huntington Beach responsible. That's who he's blaming for. Yeah, just watch this quick clip. Oh, sorry. I get so triggered by Gavin Newsom and California government.
There are a number of counties. Mike and San Mateo is not one of them. There are a number of counties that are saying, well, we just need more money and more housing before we can move with these reforms or to do anything. These are the same counties. There's 19 of them, as I speak, that are out of compliance on their housing element.
What does he mean by out of compliance? He means they're holding building permits hostage because they refuse to build X amount of they refuse to set aside affordable housing units. He won't let the market work. This is all freaking state mandated authoritarianism. They're out of compliance.
That refuse to even zone and plan for more housing. You can't make this up. It's almost Orwellian.
Then he has like he is such a freaking narcissist. Everything he's guilty of, he accuses everyone else of. He says it's Orwellian. California government is the Orwellian thing, and it's coming to your state too, you guys. California RGS is the blueprint. Like what starts in California spreads to the rest of the country. It's just a matter of time.
19 counties today are out of compliance. You know, one of the poster childs down there in Huntington Beach. That's why I'm a little more aggressive as it relates to Millbrae. You're either part of the problem or you're not, period. Period. Solution, that is.
He sucks at talking too. He thinks he's so slick and he's not. He's just not. Oh, so frustrating. Let's see. Should have checked in the chat with earlier. John Price, we need more money and more power. Exactly. That's Gavin's freaking shit there. Pete Grabber, Gas Buddy is an app that gives you the cheapest price in your area. Oh, my bad. Was I attacking the wrong guy there? All right. Sorry, Pete Grabber. Doesn't that gas tax get diverted through the high-speed rail that always needs more money? Exactly. Yep. Texas. You don't want to know what the other end of this argument is. Look up Colony Ridge in Liberty City, Texas. Don't be mysterious. Just tell me. Just tell me what it is. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the windmills shit? Are you talking about like when all the windmills froze in Texas? Is that what you're talking about, Hexus? I'm not sure there. I'll try to remember to look that up after the show. John Price, I worked in utilities. That's not entirely accurate on why housing is expensive. What's not entirely accurate? There's all sorts of reasons why housing is expensive. There's all sorts of reasons, but a lot of it's just inventory. That not a lot of new housing is being built. Check the chat over on Rumble. Only man, 1776, leave California. No, I don't want to. This is my home. It's so annoying. It's so annoying when people tell me to leave California. And also, how? Do you think it's free for me to just pack all of my shit and just leave California? It's not that easy. People think you can just snap your fingers and appear in another state. It doesn't work that way. Pay for it then. Pay for it. You want me to leave California? Pay for it. And no, I'm not. I will do everything I can to stay here. This is my home. I love California. I hate California government. Biden didn't refill the oil reserve. Gas prices are going to get worse. Get ready for $8 a gallon in California. Yeah, I know. I know. I think they got $8 in San Mateo. Yep, I wouldn't be shocked. Shasta Rain. So why are the taxpayers paying for medical insurance coverage for illegals? If we add the deficit, I can't stand Newsom. He's a liar. Well, exactly. It's the homeless thing too, right? He talks about fixing the homeless problem, building housing for homeless, and then he brings in, he incentivizes illegal immigrants coming here that would go homeless without the support of the state. So if the state doesn't give homeless people money, people that don't speak the language, don't know the culture, have never been here whatsoever. I mean, they might have job skills, but they can't communicate. They're subsidizing it. Like, instead of trying to fix the how does that make the homeless problem better? It's insane. No, so the so-called affordable housing is taxpayer subsidized under RHNA, and if the cities don't comply, they get hit with what's called the builder's remedy. All taxpayer funded, and they're not affordable. RHNA and builder's remedy is going to hit all counties and cities. The white papers are already submitted and accepted. Send me something on that, would you? DM me a link or something. Then counties signed on, all in the name of sustainability. Yeah, no shit. Hexus. Okay. Well, Hexus, I can't click on stuff on, looks like you're watching on X. Can you DM that to me, Hexus? I'd really appreciate it. I'll check it out as soon as the show's over.
I just can't click on it here and pull it up. It doesn't allow me to click on stuff in the chat. Look up Mountain House neighborhood off 580. That was built and it's still mostly vacant like 10 years later. No shit, huh? I know the Mountain House area. I got work out in Tracy soon. Anyways, thanks, Hexes. I appreciate it. I'll look at that as soon as the show's over. All right, let's keep going here. I don't want to go too much over 2 hours, but I want to cover everything that I have pulled up here. I have a lot of it. Shit, I'm not even halfway through the California stuff I want to cover. Okay, so here, this is just really quick. This is back in 2008, you guys. This is Gavin Newsom. If you guys aren't from California, you don't know. Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco in 2008, back when Bush was in office. Freaking Bush. He was the mayor in San Francisco. He became the lieutenant governor after that, kind of in the background, still doing all his nonsense. Our current lieutenant governor is being set up to be the next governor, and she's just as bad, if not worse, than Gavin Newsom. But Gavin Newsom has been destroying California since I've been a kid. I mean, no joke, since I've been a kid. So here's Gavin Newsom when he was the mayor of San Francisco in 2008, talking about his 10-year plan to fix homelessness. Back in 2008, when fentanyl wasn't even a thing. Look at San Francisco now. Like,
we believe fundamentally that food solves hunger, that shelters solve sleep, and that housing solves homelessness. And if we're going to solve the problem of those.
Hey, if housing solves homelessness, then why hasn't housing solved homelessness? He's been beating this same drum for like 15 years now.
That are out on the streets that we define as homeless, we better solve the housing problem if we're going to have an impact. And that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco. We believe fundamentally that food solves hunger.
Okay. So that's not happening. That hasn't happened. He hasn't fixed it at all. Oh boy. This article from the Sacramento Bee. It's about the whole suing Huntington Beach shit. California governor is giving teeth to his efforts to build more housing in California by suing a city that he argues isn't allowing enough low-income housing as required by law. Share this. Newsom announced that attorney Javier Becerra, I can't pronounce his name, is suing Huntington Beach, a coastal city in Orange County, to compel it to support construction of more affordable apartments and houses. California requires, see, that's it. California law requires communities to plan for housing at all income levels. If the state finds those plans won't allow for enough housing, communities are required to revise them. So he won't allow development until they meet his Orwellian standards. The huge housing cost and sky-high rents are eroding quality of California families across the state, Newsom said in California. California's housing crisis is an existential threat to the state's future. Everything he's doing is making it worse. The state's housing department found Huntington Beach out of compliance with state law in 2015, and Newsom administration alleges that the city hasn't since acted to approve enough land for low-income units. Although the city approved a housing plan in 2013 that met state standards, the city council altered the document 2 years later in a manner that reduced the number of housing units that could be built in the city, the lawsuit alleges. Newsom argues that effectively prevented construction of new affordable units to comply with state law. The city proposed fixes to its plan that would have solved the problem, but didn't implement them, the lawsuit argues. The time for empty promises has come to an end. The state argues in the lawsuit the city should not be allowed to avoid its statutory obligations any longer. So instead of letting them build housing, nope, you guys got to meet this criteria. You guys just can't build any housing at all. Okay. Huntington Beach's attorney Michael Gates said the governor's office is wrong. He says the city has been complying with the state's housing laws and working with the Housing and Community Development Department. The lawsuit by
by the state is timed poorly, Gates said in a written statement. Now, instead of making progress in discussions and negotiations, good productive communications with HCD representatives will be cut off. Gates said Huntington Beach has prevailed in court on this issue before, citing a lawsuit by the Southern California Affordable Housing Advocacy Group that argued Huntington Beach wasn't complying with the state's housing laws. The California Supreme Court declined to review that case last year. The city's median housing income was $88,000 in 2017, according to the census. The median housing income in U.S. that year was $60,000, according to the Federal Reserve. Zillow estimates the median value of a house in the city was $837,000. The median value in Huntington Beach. State officials say dozens of other California cities are out of compliance with the housing law that the center of the Huntington Beach lawsuit. They range from Atwater in Merced County, where a federal prison is the main employer, to Pismo Beach, a resort town on the Central Coast. The list also includes several lower-income San Joaquin County communities such as Orange Cove and Selma. The governor's office says that the suit is the first filed under the new law that took effect January 1st, 2018. That law, AB 72, gives the state's housing agency more power to refer cities that break housing laws to the Attorney General. Lawmakers who supported the law applauded the governor's Friday announcement. Assemblyman Miguel Santiago, a Los Angeles Democrat who authored the bill, called the legal action team an important first step in alleviating the housing crisis that threatens our way of life. The lawsuit's helping because it's stopping them from building housing. That's how they're fixing this, guys. Republican Assemblyman Tyler Deep, who represents Huntington Beach, criticized the lawsuit. I recognize that there is a housing shortage, but this problem is not exclusive to Huntington Beach, he said in the statement. Newsom hinted that he may take action against other cities that fail to approve state-required housing. Some cities are refusing to do their part to address this crisis and willfully stand in violation of California law, he said. Those cities will be held to account. In his first budget proposal, Newsom stated hundreds of millions of dollars to help communities plan for more housing. He's also proposed giving the state's housing department more power to enforce those plans and withholding transportation funding from cities who aren't building enough housing. Keeping the money from them. He's also proposed more money for developer loans to building moderate income housing and expansion of the state's housing tax credit program. Okay, let's keep going. Try to get through as much as I can here. All right. So as Gavin's holding everyone to task about you guys got to be more in compliance, then there's zero accountability for government spending. So you guys probably heard about this. Audit finds California spent $24 billion with a B on homelessness in 5 years. Didn't consistently track outcomes. So they lost. They can't find $24 billion. Can't find it. Don't know what happened.
This crisis is an issue that is front and center in the Bay Area. And this week, volunteers in several counties are waking up before dawn to count how many people are living on the streets, in cars or RVs. It is called a point-in-time count. It happens across the country on a single day every 2 years, and it is a crucial snapshot of where we're at that helps secure funding and resources to help. The most recent count found more than 31,000 people are unhoused in the Bay Area on any given night. So our Leslie Gooden woke up.
Unhoused. I don't like that term. They just keep reinventing the same word.
Very early this morning to join in the San Mateo County count. And Leslie, I know that you met up with a group of people focused in this area, and it may seem that they were at a spot that was a little bit unexpected.
It really was. So more than 300 volunteers were seen throughout San Mateo County, collecting data on the unsheltered homeless population. So I was able to go out with some of those teams today, and we went to a location that you might not think of when it comes to unhoused residents. It's at the airport.
The homelessness crisis in San Mateo County weighs heavily on the minds of many, like Francisco Valencia. So to help, he's volunteering in the 2024 one-day homeless count.
Something new that the county started maybe 2 years ago since our last count.
This is like recent. This dude's outside in the parking structure. This is California. I see these freaking weirdos all the time, still wearing their masks.
And it's basically a faster way for them to get our numbers, and then they can run their data once we're all completed.
He and his team are observing an area where unhoused individuals are hidden in plain sight at the San Francisco International Airport.
You'll see them like right here. This is like a hot spot because Trans is right here. So when it's time to go, they just can get on the bus and head out.
The team of 3 canvassed throughout the terminals, checking out frequent hotspots for those who are unhoused, which includes transportation exits and lounging areas.
What is the reason behind saying, oh, well, that's it, unhoused instead of homeless? I mean, it's the same thing, right? But unhoused seems more like, oh, they just need a house. They just need someone to give them a house. They always do this. It's the redefining of language. That's Orwellian. Gavin said Orwellian earlier. That's it. They reinvent language.
Francisco says today's goal is to only observe.
There's going to be another team that comes out starting tomorrow, and until the 31st to survey. So they'll come in, ask like demographic, how long they've been unsheltered.
And to help document the findings, they're using an app that drops a GPS pin, noting the exact location where individuals are spotted.
So right now we're entering the amount of unsheltered people we're seeing here. It looks like it appears to be 2 males.
Assistant County Executive for San Mateo County, Eliana Rodriguez, is among the volunteer group, and she says the airport has a unique need.
And 8 of the 9 sleeping here at the airport were actually connected with other counties. They live in other counties, their encampment is in another county, but because it's safe, they ride the train at the end of the day, sleep here, and then try to get back.
Because they're so used to hearing the same thing all over again. Sometimes they have a hard time accepting services. It's all about building rapport.
Walking more than 3 miles.
Yeah, a lot of people don't accept services either. Don't go into homeless shelters, things that are available to them, because they want to do drugs out on the streets. A lot of this stuff. A very large percentage of the homeless problem is just an accountability problem. It's handing out fentanyl needles, handing out crack pipes, and allowing drug dealers to operate with impunity and allow people to shoot up heroin. Well, can't get heroin anymore. Shoot up and smoke crack right on the street. Allowing all of that stuff. They're just unhoused. They just need a house.
Throughout the airport, the team observed over 6 suspected unhoused individuals. And this information will be given to the outreach team, who will come back and connect with them to see what resources they can provide to them.
And the volunteers in this group tell me that this is not their first time participating in a homeless count, but it was everyone's first as far as observing at the airport.
Yeah, the airport is an interesting spot. It makes sense. I am curious what the logistical challenges might have been just trying to spot who might be homeless.
So we were in the international terminal, and it's pretty massive, as you know.
Right.
So we did a lot of walking, and there are plenty of seating areas as well.
Sure.
So it's very easy to find an isolated area and kind of blend in with everyone. And also, what makes it very difficult is that everyone has bags. Everyone's laying down, resting. So it was very tricky.
Well, thanks for getting up early and bringing us that story with the volunteers. It's an important thing to have. We need the count, and they need to make contact with the homeless that are out there. So, all right, thank you.
Okay, all right, that's enough of that. Triggered you guys. All right. Well, I've already gone over, so I think that's all I got for tonight. Hey guys, it's so freaking annoying. Javier Becerra, thank you, Pete Grabber. I appreciate it. The housing crisis is immigration, not housing standards. It's almost 30% of the state's population. I'll send you a same summary with links on a Texas development, which is the opposite, where it's all low income, totally free range, and mostly illegal. Okay, yeah. I'll read whatever you send me. John Price, depends. Firefighter is more accurate, even though it's gender neutral. At least it has fighter in. Okay. Let's see. Oh man, I'm way behind on the chat, I think. Northside. I think they got $8 in San Mateo. That's insane. So why are the taxpayers paying for medical insurance? Okay, I already read that. We read that too. That too. Shasta Rain. Then county signed on. It's all name of sustainability. Okay, you'll send me stuff on Twitter. Yeah. The Twitter's the best place to send me stuff. Northside, LMAO 2020 was the golden era for these mask weirdos. It's so frustrating. It's a paper mask. It's one of those black paper masks you don't know. It was like could have been made on some floor in Bangladesh as well. It's like it's so frustrating. It's like what is the purpose behind it? You're not going to a protest to try to hide your face. Are you trying to keep yourself safe? Are you trying to keep somebody else safe? Like, what are you doing? Like, really, what are you doing? Is it just you're signaling? It's so frustrating. B1800, how you doing? I've seen people wearing masks while riding a bike down the road. Yeah, same thing. Like, it's freaking insane. It's triggering. It triggers me, you guys. All right. I think that is all I got for the evening. I had side work that I thought was going to start tomorrow, but apparently it's being pushed till Thursday now because a bunch of parts aren't in. I got to go put up a bunch of shades out in Tracy, a bunch of motorized shades. So I'll be doing that Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday. So I don't know when I'm going to do that deep dive episode. You guys have no idea how far down this rabbit hole I've gone and how many notes that I have, how many video clips that I have separated out and like fully edited. I'm not even exactly sure how I'm going to put this thing together, but it's a deep dive episode on the attack on the USS Liberty and the 6-Day War. It's I feel like this is one of the most important. The interview that I'm going to be doing with Phil Turney, a survivor from the USS Liberty, RGS, you know what I'm talking about there. He's the one that put me in contact with them. This is going to be the most important interview that I've ever done, for sure. His story needs to be told. He was on Jocko Willink's podcast. I believe it was episode number 357. I believe. You guys should all go watch it. There's it's just hugely important. So I'll be talking about that. It'll probably be a longer episode, probably like 2.5 hours, because I'm going to put together an episode and I'm going to get through all of the content. It doesn't matter, all of the stuff. Gecko 1. I didn't even know you can. Oh yeah. Wow. Gecko 1. That might be my first. Is over on Rumble, so I think that's a Rumble rant. That's cool how it comes up all highlighted like that. It really stands out. So, okay, right on. I should remind you guys that I like never talk about that all episode. Thank you, Gecko 1. I really appreciate it. That's I think you might be the second or third Rumble rant I've ever gotten. So I appreciate you very much. Very much appreciated. All right, folks, that is all I got for the evening. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. Got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Let's see. What do we got tonight? Folks? Let's see. I've already promoted all my stuff. If you guys want to support the show, like, retweet, leave a comment, whether it's on Rumble, YouTube, whatever. If you want to support the show, you can click that little link in my Twitter bio. That'll take you right to my Venmo and Cash App if you guys want to support the show and support what I'm doing here. So, all right. I don't know if this joke's going to be good or not. You know what? I'm just going to open up to a random one and read it. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Okay. This is it. This is the Chuck Norris joke of the evening. All right. Here it is, folks. Chuck Norris is the only Olympic diver to never get a gold medal after performing a 1.5 somersault with 5 twists after jumping off his own boner. And on that note, stay CaliBased.